You'd think a kid with a 187 IQ would always be the brightest in the room, but young Sheldon proves that wrong over and over. From getting outsmarted by a 6-year-old bully to being called a dumb cop by a German professor, I'll be going over every time young Sheldon was outsmarted, starting with one of the most embarrassing. Okay, so let's get this out of the way first. Sheldon Cooper has an IQ of 187. He has an eidetic memory. He started high school at 9 years old. On paper, this kid should never lose at anything, but the show doesn't even wait a full season before it starts proving that wrong. In season 1, episode 16, Sheldon enters the science fair, and he doesn't just enter it. He goes in expecting to dominate. His project is about asteroid impact avoidance. Real serious stuff. The kind of project that sounds like it belongs in a university lab, not a middle school gymnasium. And he loses to a Van de Graaff generator. The episode literally calls it a frizzy hair machine in the title. Some kid rolls in with a device that makes your hair stand up, and Sheldon gets beat. He's so devastated, he says he's going to quit science entirely.
I've been thinking, and there's something I'd like to say.
Unless it's an apology, I don't want to hear it.
I'm quitting science.
Not an apology. Spank him, Dad.
But that's not even the worst early loss. One episode later, in season 1, episode 17, Sheldon gets bullied by Bobby Sparks. And Bobby is not some rival genius. She's not a prodigy. She's a 6-year-old neighbor. She slaps him. She takes his lunch money. She puts a tadpole down his shirt.
Says she slaps him around, takes his lunch money. She even put a tadpole down his shirt.
And Sheldon, this kid with a 187 IQ, cannot figure out how to stop her. His parents try to help. Nothing works. He even pays Missy to go warn Bobby off. And what does Missy do? She ends up playing Tea Party with Bobby and Billy instead. Just completely abandons the mission. And these aren't isolated incidents. In season 2, Sheldon collects smoke detectors to build a neighborhood nuclear power plant. Government agents in hazmat suits show up. In another episode, he tries to play social chess with a bully and ends up locked in a locker overnight. Now here's the thing, these early losses are funny. They're meant to be. But they're also doing something really important. They're telling you from the very first season that being the smartest person in the room does not mean you win. Sheldon can't logic his way out of a bully. He can't science his way past the government. He can't manipulate a social hierarchy he doesn't understand. And if you think losing to a 6-year-old is bad, wait until Sheldon meets someone his own age who's actually smarter than him. Paige Swanson is the only character in the entire show who is explicitly described as smarter than Sheldon.
I love being smarter than everyone.
Me too.
Checkmate. You lose.
Not just socially smarter, not just more mature, academically smarter. The wiki straight up says it, and her presence across 5 seasons isn't just a fun rivalry. It's a slow burn mirror that shows what genius looks like without the right support system. She shows up in season 2, episode 2, another 10-year-old prodigy in Dr. Sturgis's class. And the moment Sturgis praises her, Sheldon is jealous, not curious, not competitive in a healthy way. Jealous, because up until that point, Sheldon thought he was the only one, and now he's not. But Paige doesn't just beat Sheldon at being smart. She beats him at understanding reality. In season 2, episode 10, Paige tells Sheldon that kids with stunted childhoods grow up to be social misfits or weirdos.
I read that adults who had a stunted childhood often become social misfits and weirdos.
And the show's own trivia confirms that prediction literally comes true in The Big Bang Theory. She called it, she was right, and Sheldon had no response. That same episode, Missy independently reaches the same conclusion. She just flat out tells Sheldon he's gonna grow up to be a weirdo. 2 different people, same diagnosis, and Sheldon can't argue with either of them. But Paige keeps going. In season 4, episode 4 at Bible camp, Sheldon tries to turn everything into a competition with her. Paige just refuses. She won't play his game, and when he makes a comment about her parents' divorce, she punches him.
I bet you think the divorce is all your fault, and now your family is torn apart forever.
I can still hear the sound of her fist hitting your face.
Then, in season 4, episode 16, comes maybe the most humiliating moment. Paige gets Sheldon to close his eyes for what he thinks is going to be a kiss, and instead, she draws a mustache on him. He got completely played. Not by math, not by physics, just by a girl who understood social dynamics way better than he did. And in season 5, episode 17, when Paige shows up at his dorm struggling with college life, Sheldon can't fix it. He can't solve her emotional crisis with logic. He can't offer anything useful. She's falling apart and his brain has no tools for that. But here's the part most people miss about Paige. Her arc gets dark. After her parents' divorce, she spirals into rebellion, shoplifting, poor grades, underage drinking, and eventually drops out entirely.
I know that everyone is upset that I'm not doing well in school. It's just hard to care. Everything that used to seem important to me just doesn't anymore.
She's proof that intelligence without stability can fall apart completely. And that contrast is what makes every Sheldon versus Paige moment hit so much harder than a normal rivalry. She's not just smarter than him, she's a warning about what he could have become without his family. And speaking of his family, Paige only shows up in 9 episodes across the whole series. You know who outsmarted Sheldon every single day? The people living in his own house. And they didn't need a 187 IQ to do it. The Cooper family is basically a correction system. Every time Sheldon's brain runs too far ahead of reality, someone in that house pulls him back. And it's never through math or science. It's through emotional intelligence, moral authority, street smarts, and sometimes just fried chicken. And nobody does it better than Missy. In Season 2, Episode 5, Sheldon and Missy participate in a twin research study. Sheldon crushes the analytical tests, obviously, but Missy outperforms him on perceptiveness and empathy by a mile.
You are an insightful young lady.
I don't know what that means, but thank you.
It means perceptive. You see things most people miss.
She notices the romantic tension between the doctors running the study. She figures out money is involved and demands her fair share. Meanwhile, Sheldon has no clue any of that is happening. The study literally measures that Missy is better at reading people. Then, in Season 2, Episode 11, Sheldon tries to teach Missy fractions, and she actually learns. But then he gets cocky and tries to use operant conditioning on her, basically treating her like a lab experiment. When he threatens her doll Celeste, Missy punches him and gives him a black eye. His intellectual experiment loses to Missy just setting a very direct physical boundary, and it keeps going. In Season 4, Episode 16, Missy identifies that Sheldon might have a crush on Paige before Sheldon even understands what he's feeling. She reads her own twin brother better than he can read himself.
Maybe you have a crush on her.
That's ridiculous. I don't.
You care what she thinks. You can't stop talking about her.
I don't have a crush on her.
But it's not just Missy. Mary Cooper hits Sheldon with one of the best reversals in the whole show. In Season 7, Episode 2, Sheldon comes home upset because his classmates in Germany laughed at him for not knowing something. And Mary's response is perfect. She points out that Sheldon laughs at other people when they don't know things all the time. So why is it suddenly a problem when it happens to him? No math, no science. Just pure moral clarity that Sheldon can't argue with. Then there's Meemaw. In Season 4, Episode 8, after Professor Erickson's philosophy class sends Sheldon into a full existential crisis where he won't get out of bed, everyone tries to help. Logical arguments, encouragement, nothing works. And then Meemaw shows up with fried chicken from Spark's restaurant and just lures him out of bed with food. She understood that sometimes you don't argue with Sheldon, you just use leverage. George Sr. sees through Sheldon's nonsense too. In Season 3, Episode 10, Sheldon fakes being sick to avoid a mandatory swim test. George doesn't buy it for a second. Even Georgie gets in on it. Sheldon's older brother, the one Sheldon considers the least intellectual member of the family, teaches Sheldon how to write convincing excuse notes, a practical life skill that the genius didn't have.
If you're gonna do this, let me give you some pointers.
You've done this before?
Tell him.
Oh, he's the master. He coached me through my last 2 sore throats.
And that's the part people don't talk about enough. Sheldon treats his family like they're beneath him. And yeah, by IQ points, they are. But Missy reads people better than he ever will. Mary understands right and wrong in ways his logic can't touch. Meemaw knows how to actually move him when nothing else works. This family isn't just background noise. They're the reason Sheldon functions at all. But you'd think once Sheldon leaves the house and gets to college, he'd finally be in his element, right? Wrong. Because these professors didn't just outsmart him, they broke him. Every professor who beats Sheldon does it in a completely different way. And that's what makes these moments so brutal. It's not one weakness getting exposed over and over. It's a different weakness every single time. And the first one to crack him open didn't even use science. Professor Erickson teaches philosophy, not physics, not math, philosophy. And in season 4, episode 7, Sheldon walks into her class on his first day of college, thinking he's going to breeze through it. Instead, she takes his entire sense of certainty and dismantles it.
You see a problem with your argument, Mr. Cooper?
I could concentrate better if you weren't flashing your toes at me.
By the end of the episode, Sheldon literally says he has no idea what is real anymore, and nothing matters. A philosophy professor broke a physics prodigy, not by being better at physics, by attacking the one thing Sheldon depends on more than anything, his certainty that he's right. Then comes Professor Boucher in season 5, episode 7. Boucher is former US Army Corps. He built bridges all over the world, and he does not care that Sheldon is a child genius. Boucher tears up Sheldon's bridge designs.
You need to do this again. It's wrong.
What's wrong with it?
This bridge is in pieces.
What do you mean?
When Sheldon is late to class, Boucher locks him out. When Hagemeyer tries to intervene on Sheldon's behalf, Boucher reminds everyone he has tenure and doesn't answer to the president. This is the episode the show's own trivia connects to Sheldon's hatred of engineering in The Big Bang Theory. Boucher broke something permanently. Dr. Linkletter gets creative in season 4, episode 10. Sheldon campaigns to become his lab assistant through pressure, bribery, begging, flattery, and late-night phone calls. Linkletter finally gives him the job, and his first task, scrubbing 473 grease-free bolts.
These bolts, scrub the grease off.
But there's hundreds of them.
They're already clean. Then when Sheldon finishes, Linkletter tells him to put the grease back on. He turns Sheldon's ambition into pure busywork. Then there's Dr. Carol Lee in season 5, episode 14. She's brought in specifically because the administration is fed up with managing Sheldon, Sturgis, and Linkletter. And when Sheldon tries to change the telescope coordinates behind her back, she doesn't just catch him, she anticipates it. She set up a trap with an alarm and a camera. Sheldon breaks into the computer lab and walks right into it. He has to come back with a note from his mother just to be allowed on the project again. And then comes Germany. Season 7, episode 2. Sheldon arrives at a university in Heidelberg, expecting to be the most advanced person in the room. He's always been the most advanced person in the room, but this time, he's not. He's the weakest student in the class. His classmates laugh at him. Professor Saltzman calls him Dummkopf because he doesn't know Calabi-Yau manifolds or anti-de Sitter spaces, concepts that everyone else in the room already understands.
Wait, what's the Calabi-Yau manifold?
Dummkopf.
I was quickly learning not all Germans were the warm, fun-loving people I was led to believe.
They assign him a tutor named Mei Tung Chen. And here's the kicker. The show's own trivia compares Mei Tung to Paige. Both are described as smarter than Sheldon, but none of those professors are the most dangerous person Sheldon ever faced, because individual professors can only beat you in one classroom. What happens when the thing outsmarting you is an entire institution with lawyers, contracts, and a president who earned the nickname President Hagemeyer. President Hagemeyer is the most dangerous person Sheldon faces in the entire show. Not because she's smarter in the traditional sense, but because she understands something Sheldon never will: incentives, contracts, prestige, and leverage. It starts with the small stuff. In season 4, episode 16, she uses Sheldon to try recruiting Paige to East Texas Tech. She's literally using a child to do her enrollment work.
I must tell you that Sheldon was very excited to hear that you might be joining us.
The only reason I'm doing it is because
he's excited to do it. I'm excited he's doing it.
Then in season 5, episode 8, Sheldon challenges some changes she made to the science requirements. So Hagemeyer tells him she answers to a grand chancellor. Sheldon believes her. He prepares a whole report for this grand chancellor. He takes it completely seriously. And then the school paper editor tells him the grand chancellor doesn't exist. Hagemeyer just made it up. She lied right to his face, and he fell for it because it never occurred to him that an authority figure would just fabricate a position. But the database arc is where she really gets him. In season 6, episode 8, Sheldon develops a database idea. It's genuinely good, but the university contract gives East Texas Tech 90% ownership and Sheldon only 10%. And when Sheldon starts to push back, Hagemeyer dangles the idea of naming the science center after him.
If there was a centralized database, it would change the research landscape entirely.
We could charge an access fee to every university on the planet, and I can retire on a yacht in the Bahamas.
She knows exactly which button to press: his ego. Then, in season 6, episode 11, Sheldon discovers the university is already building the database without him. They hired someone named Toby to code it. Hagemeyer is described as being ahead of everyone, including Sheldon. He and Sturgis try to fight back by bringing Toby and a mainframe to Sturgis's office, but the plan overloads the circuit and kills the lights in the entire building. A child genius with a 187 IQ got outmaneuvered by a university president using lawyers, naming rights, and a coder he didn't know about. And then Germany happens. Season 7, Episode 2, The Final Humbling. Sheldon goes from being the smartest kid at East Texas Tech to the dumbest student in a Heidelberg classroom. His classmates laugh. His professor calls him Dummkopf. His mother points out the hypocrisy, and a tutor who is described as smarter than him has to bring him up to speed. That's the whole show in one arc. The entire run of young Sheldon is building toward one idea. Being the smartest person in one room does not make you the smartest person in every room. And being smart at all doesn't protect you from bullies, family dynamics, philosophy, engineering, institutional politics, or just being underprepared. Every single time Sheldon was outsmarted, the show was quietly saying the same thing. Intelligence is not one thing, it's dozens of things, and Sheldon only has a few of them. The people around him, the ones he underestimates, the ones he ignores, they carry the rest. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.